The following wrestling simulation requires discretionary viewer participation. Welcome to another exciting edition of Fire Pro Championship Wrestling. These matches are sanctioned and supervised by the Steam Workshop Alliance, courtesy of Fire Pro Wrestling World and the Carlzilla Mod Pack. I am Benoit, and we're kicking things off with a generational wrestling here. We got Randy Orton going up against the Rocket, Owen Hart. Now, Owen Hart debuted back in the Gold Rush last month, whereas Randy Orton premiered at the Big Battle Royal. And these two men were already in the ring together when Brett and Owen actually faced the former Evolution members, Batista and Randy Orton, 2 weeks ago. It was in that match that Randy Orton actually pinned Owen's brother, Brett. And now Owen is looking for a bit of revenge in the opening contest here on Championship Wrestling. Randy Orton still going strong, actually, in World Wrestling Entertainment. I believe he is the most tenured full-time wrestler currently on the roster for WWE, whereas Owen Hart, unfortunately, we know what happened with him to that tragedy in 1999. Orton there applying a headlock there. If anything, you would expect Owen Hart to be the one applying these holds, as he was trained in the infamous Hart Dungeon by his father. Oh. By his father, Stu Hart. Orton up, whips the Rocket into the corner, charges in with a big, powerful clothesline. Orton has about 20-25 pounds there on the Rocket. So far, it's really been all Randy Orton. Now Owen's starting to fight back. We got a strike exchange happening. We're going to see who is going to come out on top of this. But I'd have to say Randy Orton's probably a better... You know what? Never mind. I stand corrected. Owen going up top, decides against it. Nice back body drop there. Orton able to stay in the ring. Inverted atomic drop. Follows it up with an enziguri. That actually took Shawn Michaels out of action for a while. Oh, but Orton going for the cover now? Crazy how that works. Orton's able to get a near fall there, but gets dropped on his head with a DDT. Now Owen going for the sharpshooter. Is Randy Orton going to submit? He does not. Another back body drop there. Oh, looks like Owen might be bleeding a bit from the forehead. Must have been on one of those right hands by Orton. A Lou Thez press there and punches away. I don't know where the referee is. Should have been there to break that up. Owen comes back with a nice backbreaker. Goes for the cover. Leg is hooked. Only for two. Oh, we tried for the enziguri a third time, but Orton instead took him down with a low blow. And that low blow was enough to secure the victory for the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, whatever you want to call him. The living legend, Randy Orton. Up next, we have Jumpin' Joey Maggs taking on the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Ric Flair, the multiple-time world champion between, the National Wrestling Alliance, it became WCW, and the WWF. You could count anywhere between, 18 to 20, something odd range, depending on what you want to recognize. He debuted here in Fire Pro at the Big Battle Royal and eliminated 3 other wrestlers. And right now he is taking on Jumpin' Joey Meggs, as I said, who might not be able to jump for long if Flair happens to lock in that patented figure 4 leg lock. However, right now, Joey Meggs is taking it to the Nature Boy. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time before the tables turn. Oh my God, and that makes me think of another wrestler who I might bring into Fire Pro, but this roster is already quite big. Welcome back from the market, Nicole. What did you get? OJ? Flair hasn't really put a whole lot of offense in right now. It's been all Meggs. Give Meggs credit where credit is due. Up, inside cradle.
2, 3.
Oh, shit. Ric Flair snuck in that inside cradle. Did not even have to use the figure 4 leg lock to get a victory over Jumpin' Joey Meggs. We got tag team action coming up next here as the former King of the Ring, Mabel, brought in his men on a mission tag team partner, Mo. They're going to be taking on the team of Jim Powers and Ross Greenberg. Ross currently in the ring with Mo and shoved out of the ring where Mabel is going to get his hands on him. Of course, referee is making that 10 count. Here in Fire Pro Wrestling, we have a 10 count out of the ring, despite the fact that in Fire Pro Wrestling World, there is a 20 by default. Uh-oh. If Ross doesn't get back in the ring, he's going to risk getting counted out here. And he's back in before the count at 10. Mabel debuted here in the Gold Rush tournament, losing in the first round to its eventual winner, Kurt Angle. Men on a mission were a former WWF Tag Team Champion for a brief period there. Tag into Jim Powers. And the big man Mabel's in now. Double teaming him with a clothesline. That is a lot of weight behind him. Mabel's well over 500 pounds. Mo is, what, about 280? Leg is hooked. Might have been a lot of body weight, but Ross was not, or rather Jim Powers was not ready to take the loss. Grabs a hold of the head of the Mabel. The big head. For a big head necessitates a big crown. And Mabel did have a big crown in 95. Oh, big leg drop. And a drop kick sends the big man down. I'm a bit surprised. Jim Powers is taking it to him. But all it took was one clubbing blow to knock down Jim Powers. Ooh. All that weight, like running into a brick wall, or better yet, having a brick wall run into you. I would not want to see a moving brick wall. I would get the hell out of the way. And Powers does as he tags back in Ross Greenberg. They go for a double team maneuver, and holy shit! Double vertical suplex on the over 500-pound Mabel. And now he's fighting back on the outside. He might want to get back in the ring, though. He's a bit winded. Doesn't want to be counted out because he ran out of breath. He knows he's gassed, so here comes Mo. Greenberg decides to stay in the ring. We'll see if that was a wise choice. Just shoves down Greenberg by the head. Ref might have wanted to check and see if he had any hair on that. Oh, STO. He's going up top. Nope. Greenberg gets the hell out of Dodge, though. Tag back into Powers. This is not Jim Powers' first time as part of a tag team, though. Ross there was not his original tag team partner. Back in the 80s, he was in a little-known tag team. Oh! With, I believe, Paul Roma. Spinning heel kick there by Mo. Mo. I'm channeling my inner OSW. Uh-oh. And tag back into Mabel, who eats some lefts and rights. More like right and a left. Double axe handle. They don't call him Jim Powers for nothing. He's pretty strong here if he can, pick up Mabel. But he's not able to get the 3 count there. Way too close to Mo. Oh, big avalanche and some hockey-style punches to the jaw. Powers gets the hell out of dodge. 2 count. Really? A superplex to Mabel? No fucking... Whoa! Okay. Okay. I am very impressed with the makeshift tag team here of Jim Powers and Ross Greenberg. This is not a strong showing for men on a mission. They're in trouble. They are in trouble. And just like that, the match is over. All it took was a 550-pound man falling on your chest to cause you to lose. Who would have expected that? Freaking Seth Rollins is now in the ring going up against simply marvelous Mitch Ryder, who goes for a quick win but isn't able to get it. Not even a 1 count. You actually got to pull off some offensive maneuvers if you want to pin somebody like Seth freaking Rollins. You know, Seth Rollins was very impressive in his debut back at the Battle Royal, but has yet to really be put to the test here in Fire Pro. Although that doesn't mean he's not going to make some big claims. You know, Rollins recently said that Stone Cold may be the champion now, but if and when he ever steps into the ring with Seth, he will fall. Stone Cold Steve Austin will fall, according to Seth frickin' Rollins. Ooh, nice stiff chop there to Mitch Ryder, who retorts with an uppercut. I think Seth might be out on the injured list right now in WWE. I don't really know. Oh, he's not injured here, though, as he dodged that drop kick from Mitch. You know, we have a lot of members here on the roster in Fire Pro, Seth being one of them, but we're always looking to oh, what the hell was that? That's the fun thing of simming here. Anything can happen. Like that exchange after whatever the hell came out of that Irish whip. And a pile driver. Oh, he is marvelous. He was able to pile drive Seth, but Seth comes right back with a modified victory roll there for a 1 count. Took Seth by surprise, took me by surprise. Or rather took Mitch. But I'm getting these guys confused already, and they're completely separate fellas. Mitch with a nice elbow drop there. Oh, modified brainbuster. 2, 3. No, that would have been an upset, but it did not happen as Seth kicked out. Might be nighttime for him, though. But he refuses to take a nap. Nice exploder. And Mitch is really feeling himself now. And who can blame him? He's got most of the offense into this match, including that low blow. Up. Tries to take an arm, but Seth reverses that into a backdrop. Seth isn't really able to mount much offense, but he comes back quick after that elbow drop to the back. Vertical suplex there by Simply Fabulous. Wasn't that a show? A comedy show from the UK? Simply Fabulous. It aired on like Comedy Central back in the 90s. Oh. Oh, running buckle bomb all the way across the ring, followed by the curb stomp. Leg is hooked. Wow, how did Mitch kick out of that? That is amazing. Mitch working on that upset here. I think he does. I think Seth Rollins does want to go one-on-one with Stone Cold Steve Austin, but who doesn't? I mean, I bet Mitch Ryder wants to go toe-to-toe with the champion. Isn't that what it's about? Becoming the heavyweight champion here? Everybody wants to be the best in Fire Pro Wrestling. And we only want to see the best. Which is why if you lose too many matches, you're just no longer going to get booked. And Seth was very impressive in that Battle Royal with how many men he eliminated, but he needs to rack up some wins. Oh, super kick to the back of the head. I think that's exactly how he could do it. Oh, another one. I'm under the impression he took that kick out from the buckle bomb and the curb stop personal. Oh, what? I'm not even sure what to call that. Single underhook into like a face plant. I'm sure he has a name for it, which I need to look up. I got to do my research here. This is not the Tyler Black you used to see on the Indies or Ring of Honor. This is Seth frickin' Rollins. We definitely got some endurance on display. This is a hell of a match between these two men. Has a 20-minute time limit. Dragon DDT. What's he going to do here? Oh, goes for the pedigree. Okay, he's somehow out of the ring. He runs through the ropes. Curb stop again. And Seth freaking Rollins gets the win by defying the laws of physics in his victory against Mitch Ryder. Oh, man, we got the man in the ring, Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg, a man we have not seen in 2 months. Which is because we haven't seen him does not mean you should forget that he is currently on an undefeated streak. Not only that, but he is ranked number 2. Not just because he's undefeated, but because he also has a pinfall victory on the now SWA heavyweight champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is currently in the ring, taking on a much larger man by the name of the Roadblock. The Roadblock was an undercard worker back in WCW who got a few wins under his belt, but nothing significant. Now, speaking of undefeated streak, there's also another undefeated man here in Fire Pro, that being the dead man, The Undertaker. Oh, Roadblock. Nice backdrop there. Now, I don't know if, I think these two guys did go at it in WCW at one point. I think Bill Goldberg actually did get a victory over the Roadblock. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get a victory here. Makes you wonder, is he even going to be able to jackhammer the big man? That's a 400-pound guy, dude. And he's massive. He's girthy. Oh, and we saw earlier how a girthy man, Mabel, was able to take out Ross Greenberg with ease by just falling on him. Just lumbering, just timbering over like a big oak tree. Look at that. Roadblock just tosses Goldberg in the air. Goes for the cover. Near fall. Up Goldberg there with a bit of a variation of a dragon screw. Roadblock once again just tosses him in the air like pizza dough, but Goldberg doesn't even allow. Okay, speaking of pizza, Roadblock's going in for a bite. Oh, and Goldberg was busted open by that. Those must be some sharp teeth. I don't know if that's a good idea to bring Goldberg to the center of the ring, but maybe I'm wrong. Big splash. Roadblock decides not to go for the cover. That could have been a mistake. And Goldberg goes in for a spear, but like a matador. Oh, never mind. I was going to say Roadblock avoided the spear, but not the jackhammer. And Goldberg remains undefeated in Fire Pro Wrestling. Goldberg, come on. The match is over. You don't have to stomp on his back. We got the $1 Million Man in action against Scott Casey. Now, DiBiase, we've not seen since Easter Sunday, where it turned out he had some harsh words for King Kong Bundy, who lost his WrestleMania rematch to The Undertaker. And Bundy did not take kindly to those words. As you notice, Bundy is not with him, nor any longer under his employee. Under his employee, I should say. You know, DiBiase still is intending on reforming the $1 Million Corporation, but it seems like he has a different strategy for that now. Makes me wonder who he's going to bring in next year to Fire Pro. Lateral press only gets a 1. But DiBiase has a lot of connections and some very, very deep pockets. King Kong Bundy lost to The Undertaker most recently at WrestleMania. The Undertaker also undefeated. Undefeated like a man we saw earlier in Bill Goldberg. And being undefeated means you got a good chance of being next in line for that heavyweight championship. Matter of fact, The Undertaker is ranked number 1 here, given his undefeated streak. However, as previously mentioned, Bill Goldberg has a pinfall victory already over Stone Cold Steve Austin, having defeated him New Year's Day, the very first event, the beginning of an era here in Fire Pro. And we got, all right, the $1 Million Dream, and that is all for Scott Casey.
Everybody's got a prize. Fight.
Now for some ladies tag team action. Allison Danger is kicking things off against Trish Stratus in this match. Oh, we already got a lateral press coming up here. Back last month, a few weeks ago, March 21st, in a 6-woman tag team match, it was Allison Danger, Mickie James, and Sumi Sakai going up against the Beautiful People. Velvet Sky got the pinfall victory over Sumi, and now the 4 women who were not a part of that finish are going at it here in a tag team match. Of course, Trish Stratus turned on Gail Kim months ago to join the Beautiful People, making them a threesome. And boy, what a beautiful threesome that is. Nice northern lariat there to the back of the head of Trish Stratus. Taken over to the corner. For a moment there, I thought Mickie James might have wanted to get in on the action. Oh, schoolboy. Way too close to the ropes, though. Or perhaps I should say a schoolgirl. Nice reversal there by Allison Danger. Mickie does not forget the history they had back in WWE. And apparently Trish wants no part of Mickie James, so she goes and tags in Angelina Love. Mind you, there isn't much love lost between Angelina and Trish Stratus, as ever since Trish joined the Beautiful People, they haven't always been on the same page. Now, Mickie James was actually a member of NWTNA before Angelina Love, before my phone just fell. I'm very professional. Before the Beautiful People were a thing, although back then in the early days of TNA, Mickie James went by the name Alexis Lurie. It was a bit surprising she was allowed to go by her real name when she joined WWE in, I believe, 2005? Might have been 06. I stopped watching The Fed at that point, so I'm not quite sure. Somebody in the chat or somebody in the comments below can correct me if I'm wrong. Backbreaker in the center of the ring. This match has a 20-minute time limit. Now, I don't know if Angelina Love and Mickie James going by their previous aliases, ever tied up in any independent promotions or specifically any ladies promotions. Chick kick right to the face. No. Trish is able to break up the fall, getting her hands, or actually her feet, or her foot, there on Mickie. And of course, as soon as Allison Danger's in the ring, Trish decides to tag back in. Lateral press. And just like earlier, when Trish broke up the pin, now Mickie breaks up the pin. Another cover, but Angelina's too close. Another near fall there. Oh, I think she was going for the Bulldog, but instead she went for the Stratus faction. That could be all if she can get the cover. She yanks Allison away from the ropes. Mickie. Oh, Mickie was a little slow to the breakup there, and the beautiful people take it. And I am Benoit signing off, saying this is the end of this week's Championship Wrestling. So I'll see you next week. And remember, guys, keep on simming.